Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Bronze Reaper podcast. I'm your host, Rosalind Perkins, and today we got a decent show. Today we're going to do 2.5 hours, so we're going to speed a lot of stuff up. So we'll be out of here by like 9:20, 9:30, or maybe even 9:45. Who knows? Um, Today we have a great show. Give me a second, everybody. I'm still like opening up stuff and just getting things on and popping. Let's see, yada yada yada. Please sign in to monetize until you. Okay, we'll do that after. Give me a second, everybody. I apologize. We getting things started. I changed the topic yesterday because I came home early. I just told my job I wasn't feeling good. Um, I wasn't feeling good yesterday. I was actually going to do a show in the afternoon because I got out of work at like 3:30, 3:35. So yeah. Um oh, if you notice, I got a new shelf. So shout out to, well, actually I paid for that. It's a dope ass shelf, so I'm like, okay, you know what? I was gonna get it in black, but I was gonna get $100 one. This one is like 50, 60. Um this is super dope. I get to put my stuff up here and you get to see my bookshelf. So yeah, my books and stuff right here. I got books up there. Those are my Robert Greene books up there. So shout out to all of y'all, man, who be looking out. And I apologize. I'm so late. The power tripped out, so I had to wait. So again, I apologize of you know waiting 3 hours. I thought like I'll tell you the whole story. So the the power tripped out because I had a whole bunch of shit running, and the basement was locked, so I had to wait until like probably like 15, 20 minutes ago to get the basement unlocked, reset the electricity, and it was back on. So I apologize, everybody, of what happened. So we were gonna do a 3:15 show. It's 7 o'clock right now, so it's like a 4 hour wait. The early morning, it was me procrastinating. I'm not ever gonna lie about that. I procrastinated a lot. So yeah, it was all me. Again, I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. Hold on, let me see. Oh, he ain't that strong. And if you notice, I'm getting bigger. I'm slimming down. Not even. I'm toning up. So shout out for me. Shout out. Pat on my back. I'm working out and stuff. I put two gizmos together and stuff like that. I've been working on the chest today, the chest and the arms. So I've been doing my thing today. Tomorrow I'm gonna work on the abs. It'll be a quick ab workout. And we're gonna start the show 11:15 tomorrow. 11:15, 11:30. I apologize. No, actually, there's no shows on Tuesday. I apologize. It's mostly marketing, so I have to do marketing tomorrow, and I will be setting up for the show on Wednesday. So, again, I apologize for today. I know the show would have went crazy. We would have did crazy numbers today. It's just like I said, that power trip and that basement was locked, so I couldn't get into the basement until like 15, 20 minutes ago. Um, Give me 1 second, everybody. Now live on YouTube. So yeah, And also to everybody, I'm gonna give you an update on the Bronze Reaper documentary. So I will be doing a documentary of Bronze Reaper. I think I want to call it Bronze Reaper. All hail Oroshalin. You know, you know. Hold on one second. No, you are not alone. That you are not- Yeah. So yeah, it's like I said, it's yeah. I'm gonna be getting busy sooner or later because I'm gonna be recording all of this. I'm thinking about the recording in within 2 weeks. You know, yeah, you know your boy's about to get busy out here. You know, so and I'm gonna say this, everybody. Thank everybody for like even you, St. Michael's, even though you're a piece of shit. Thank you for supporting my show, man. Because you do bring some type of meat, and you too, Shabaka. Hold on, everybody. I'm sorry. Yeah, you too, Shabaka. You know Dorsey. You know you always supported my show. Miss Lala Browns, Miss Charlie Shaw, Renaissance, Mr. Crux, who else? JG, you as always, the YouTube family, the X family, also known as Twitter, Kick, Rumble, y'all always supported my show. So now I'm gonna show you, now I'm gonna give you a documentary. I know some people might say, "Oh yeah, it's kind of too early for that," yada yada yada. I say it's never too early. It's never too early. Um, Give me a second, everybody. Yeah, it's never too early for none of that stuff, man. It's like, yo, if you out here getting busy, hey man, don't let nobody stop your hustle. Yeah, man, don't let nobody stop your hustle, man. I'm just a living proof of what's going on. All jokes aside, I'm just a living proof of that. You know, and like I said, I'm just another kid from JP, man. Who made his opportunities. Who built his opportunity. And when I say JP, I'm from talk about Jamaica Plain, Massachusetts. I'm just a kid who just made his own his own lane. You know, did became different. And that's just me. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. You know, I was a kid that wasn't supposed to actually really go that far. So yeah. But yeah, it's like I said. Thank y'all. I do appreciate everything that y'all all do. Um, that's why I'm setting up this area. It's looking good right now. I'm almost done. I'm basically like 80% done of what's going on. Let me turn this air conditioner on. Yeah, I'm like 80% of done of everything I'm doing right now. Hold on, give me a second, everybody. All right, shut this shit down because that's my adult entertainment stuff. For my yeah. So it's like I said, man. I've been getting busy out here, man. So you know what? I'm gonna show off all the good work, and I'm even talking about Hold on one second. Was that Rumble? Yeah, Rumble. But yeah, I've been getting busy out here, man. And like I said, everybody, I just want to show you the hard work that I put in. You know, and if like I said, if I can do it, y'all can do it. Y'all can do what I'm doing out here. I just want to show y'all the hard work I've been doing. You know, picking up on my documentary. Um, yeah, it just I'm also tell y'all too, yo, y'all gonna have to spend some money too. Y'all gonna have to spend some money on yourself too. You got to make that investment on yourself. You know, yeah, it's you're gonna make that investment, and I know it's gonna be hard in the beginning. Just do little by little. Like, yo, it's so bad now. I got a bill payment book. Straight up, I got a bill payment book. You know, so it's like I said, I've been getting busy out here, man. You know, I hope it's showing and stuff. Um, I'm almost done, everybody. Let's see, Rumble, yada yada yada. Quote, you know, hold on one second. Fuck hell, you know. Yeah, like I said, I be getting busy out here. Yeah, I be getting busy out here. It's gonna start to show though. I will tell y'all. Give me like 5 more minutes. We're gonna start the show. We're gonna talk about the topic question. I think the topic question is very important. Hold on. This is um yeah. It's like I said. We out here now. And these numbers, and I'm gonna say this to y'all. These numbers is getting up there. You know. And shout out to all the influencers who inspired me to do this stuff. You know. Like I said, we out here. You know, the Bronze Reaper Media is out here. What's going on, Fresh as always? Salute, salute. And you know what? I'm gonna start the show. So the question is, why the Black Diaspora tries to get a pass for the Black American disrespect? Um, the real question is, why do they want to disrespect Black Americans? Is it an envy thing? Is it a hateful thing? Is it a misunderstanding? Is it what is it? What is it? You know, and also before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment in the live chat. If you're not a subscriber, you cannot comment in the live chat until you hit that subscribe button. So subscribe, 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 and also share to 5 different platforms and or five different people. Um, it helps the platform and the algorithm, and also what we're talking about. And also, if you want to donate, you can donate to the GoFundMe for the Brother Morningstar Sir Adam's Great Portrayal, or my Cash App. You know, the Cash App is cool and stuff like that. Like I said, it just goes into building the office and stuff. You know, us getting busy out here. Um, but that's the real question. What is the Where does the disrespect comes from? You know, is it an envy thing? Is it a jealousy thing? Is it what? Is it just I just don't like you niggas? You know, what is it? You know, I always told people personally, I don't think it I don't think it like as I always say, I don't think it's all Africans or all Caribbeans or all Afro Latinos, because I don't like to throw Latinos in that category as black people or African descent. Do they have African DNA? Yes, everybody has African DNA. But I personally know more. Don't like to say that Latinos have African DNA, because a lot of them have uh, more European DNA. You know, and are there Afro Latinos? Yes, absolutely. There's shitloads of them, you know. But there's just more Hispanics, more white Hispanics or European Hispanics than Afro Latinos. So I'm not gonna lie, envy for sure. Fresh always said envy for sure. I want to say this before we start because we'll start in the 35-minute mark. Well, 33 minutes. We'll talk for 12 minutes. 34 minutes, so 34, 35. I want to say this. Is it a misunderstanding? No, I don't think it's a misunderstanding. I know Africans are smart, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like Africans don't know what the fuck is going on. That will be that would be me. That would be bad faith of me saying that. These are smart people. Don't forget, they have doctors, they have lawyers, and all this other crazy shit that they usually say. So I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say, oh yeah, they're not smart enough to understand what the fuck is going on. That's just me. Give me a second, everybody. I think I want to use this part. Yada yada yada. What's going on, Ray Ray? Salute, salute. Um, but I would have never want to say that, especially without the Black Diaspora. The Black Diaspora. When I say the Black Diaspora or diaspora, I'm not only talking about Africans. I'm talking about Caribbeans, Afro Latinos, yes, Africans too, but I wouldn't exclude them of not being African. So that's why I said that. I do want to say this, and I'm gonna think out the box today. I do believe I do believe it's more of an envy thing. And the reason why I say it's more of an envy thing is because what we are doing they want to do. They want their country to be that prominent. They want that country to be more, sophisticated and dope. This is why we have Black Panthers, like the Black Panther movie, Wakanda and stuff like that. You know, and it was to see Africa in a different light. I get that, and it's dope. What's going on, FBA convo? But I'm gonna say this: when we were giving them that respect, that's when the disrespect came. That's when, oh, you niggas is lazy. This is when I started understanding the Killmonger story. We were supposed to be the Killmonger. We were supposed to be the people who were disadvantaged, evil, violent. Come from these type of ghettos. Then when we went to Wakanda, we see niggas eating fruits and berries and shit. Was it apples and berries and oranges and all this other crazy shit? This is what we're seeing. We seeing the, oh yeah, our food is so natural. But as I always say, there's two sides to every fucking story. You know, that's the story that they wanted to tell us. Those are the prince of the those are the Akeem and the Akeem stories, the Rwanda stories, as they always say, the coming to the America story. And I always tell people all the time, I don't think those stories is true. I personally don't think those stories has always been true. And the reason why is because they're lies. They're lies. When people went to their countries, they showed them the foul part of those countries. They were like, "Oh yeah, don't. That's not true about our story. That's not true about our country. They're just showing the foul part of our country, but that's the part of this. That's just the part of your stories of your own countries. And they couldn't handle it. Give me a second, everybody. button. I don't forget to hit that. But yeah, it's and like I'm gonna say this: everybody has foul parts of their countries. There's always foul parts of the country. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. My problem, and this has always been my problem. My real true problem has always been like, okay, you know what? This is just a part of your people, you know. That's just a part of your people. You know, you can't hide the ugly part of your people and tell everybody, yeah, your fucking country is like a fucking futopia. You know, there's no such thing as a futopia. That's why it's called futopia. You know, there is, and that's how I feel. There's no such thing as no futopia. Um, and I think a lot of people need to get over that. I think a lot of people need to, you know, and we're just talking about the envy part of the diaspora. You know, like let me ask y'all a question. Why you think a lot of these people have been saying the same thing? I'm talking about Europeans, Asians, Latinos, Africans, Caribbeans, South people from South America. They always say black people are lazy. They always say black people are poor. They on welfare, and we're figuring out that the people that you have been defending were the people on welfare. Those people were on welfare. Those people were pimping the system. The government don't give us a chance to pimp the system, and it is what it is. I told y'all my story. When I lost my job when I was small, I tried to file for welfare. Them niggas only gave me $60 fucking. And you know what I did? I went to go get an ounce and sold and I sold that motherfucker. I said, fuck a $60, nigga. Fuck a $60. Them niggas try to give me $60 fucking. And I said, yo, get the fuck out of here with this shit. I'm done with it. I said, this ain't no fucking American dream. This doesn't help me get closer to the American dream. So I said, you know what? Fuck it. You know what? Let me go on the streets and get this money. Let me get this money. And I met great people. I met drug dealers. I met fucking strippers, prostitutes, killers. I sold weed to killers and fucking prostitutes, strippers, college kids. I was in the. Let me tell you something. I was in so many different type of worlds just selling weed, and I understood why. And so, yo, let me tell you how good it was selling weed to kids. I mean, to college kids. These kids, you get a ounce for let's see, $1.50. We'll say $1.50. You sell this shit for 320 or 250. You just came up. You came up 80, $90. You know, because they don't know about the street prices. You know, most of these kids ain't be trying to buy like ounces and they don't be trying to buy zips and shit, zips and half a zips and shit. You know, and it's like, yo, where's the coke and the weed? That's it. Where's the coke and the weed? As these college kids is, you know. Let me fix this. Actually, don't. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna also say this. I feel, and this is just me personally, everybody. I personally do believe that. I personally do believe that there are some people that are, good at heart when it comes to Black Americans, and there's some people who just honestly just don't know, and they're just trying to figure it out. But it makes you look fucking stupid when you know you don't know what it is, and you act like you know what it is. This is why if you ever see me, somebody asks me something, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I give that say, I don't know. I don't know. I'll keep on telling you, I don't know, until they, oh, okay, let me explain. You know, blasey blasey blah, whoop 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 whoop. You know, and okay, I get it now. You know, but yeah, it comes to a point where I feel like a lot of these people don't understand, and now we're getting in this world where a lot of these Pan Africans and these liberals are saying the same thing that the foundational Black Americans are saying. You know, I hope y'all like the flag over there. It's on the other side. I just had to make room for the shelf. The shelf is super dope. I'm glad I bought the shelf. It took me an hour to put together. You know, I had it would have been like 30 minutes, but I had to dismember it and put it back together. I fucked up a few times and stuff, and I got my camera up there too. So yeah, we're about to get busy with this, man. I personally, I think I want to do the Bronze Reaper documentary first, so I can add. I can use that for the promotion of the Brother Morningstar Sir Adam's Great Betrayal. I personally want to do that. I do want to get back into acting. I did acting probably 18 years ago. 15 to 18 years ago. Nah, like 15 years ago. Yeah, 15. No, 17, 18 years ago. Um, I want to get back into it. And why wouldn't it be good if you make your own movies, and the reason why I talked about people acting like they don't know what they're doing or people acting like they do know what they're doing, because this is when we're going to start talking about this word like tether. You know, a lot of these immigrants act like they don't know what the word tether is or the word nigga is. Shabaka, he's one of those people who act like he don't know what the word nigga is, and he's older than me. He act like he don't know what the definition of tether is. You know, and like as everybody always said, that's not all immigrants. Not all immigrants are tethers. It's just it is what it is. You know, if you out here, reaping the benefits off of Black Americans' hard work, but you are but you're not giving back, and you talking about, yeah, your people are the ones that did it. We have a problem. We have a big problem. That's just me. Some people might see it different. I see it as a concern. You know, I always tell people it's a concerning to me. It's concerning when people do that to me. I always see it as a concerning issue. But let's get into a few of the shows. I think I want to do the King Flex one last. You know, give me a second, everybody. I think I want to do the King Flex one or even in the middle, because it's like an hour. Give me a second, everybody. So I think I want to do this one second. I'm see everybody. I'm just trying to figure out what we're gonna do. All right, let's see that one. And so this is what we're gonna do first. We're gonna do this one first. This is this new guy. I'm not subscribed to him yet, but I'm Mr. Ta. Shout out to Mr. Ta. He has 38,000 followers, so I think it's gonna be super dope. Let me get this window open for y'all so I can share my screen. Um, and like I said, if anybody wants to call in, you got to give in a donation. So yeah, don't be like, hey, yo, I got something to say. Yo, drop the link. Nah, nigga, we don't do that shit no more. And it's, hey, La La Brown, shout out to you, dear. And it's not that, it's not because, oh yeah, I'm trying to be cheap. This is still a fucking business. I think people got to understand that too. And I'm gonna say this, everybody, it's my fault. It's my fault for doing this shit. Just let everybody come on here willy nilly and shit like that. Niggas think they're big Willie out here and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, you know what? It's good for business. Until the team tell me, like, yo, nigga, what are you doing? There you go, Shabaka right here. FBA is a unfunny. Shabaka, you said that 2 episodes ago. Um, you gotta come up with some new shit, man. There's only purpose. So this is what I'm gonna say, Shabaka. Give her donations, and I'll let you talk for 10 minutes. You know, all you gotta do is hit the Cash App or the GoFundMe, my nigga. All jokes aside, I'm not gonna. And Shabaka, I let you talk. So it's the thing about it. You trying to look for a fucking handout. That's your problem. And this is where I have an issue with you at. I support Shabaka. I support your little Pan African bullshit. And I always say, oh, that's Shabaka. That's your Pan African bullshit. I accept it. Cool. I just don't do the shit. Good. I'm in the right place. I see Shabaka still drooling on a. Yeah, Shabaka, send in a donation. You can be on here for 10 minutes. I'll let you talk for 10 minutes. You know, maybe even longer if you're saying some good shit. But yeah, good. I'm in a. But yeah, I'm gonna say this. I feel like, and this is just me. If a lot of these countries want to unite, won't y'all unite with Africa? Won't the Caribbeans unite with Africa and tell Africa to come to the Caribbean countries, Caribbean islands, and help them fix it? You know, like why aren't we hearing these type of stuff? We hear what Africa want us to do for them. We want to know what the fucking benefits are. And I think this is what a lot of this jealousy comes from, because we can tell you no, yes or no whenever we want to. And they look at our situation isn't as bad as Africa. This is why a lot of these people leave and just never come back. They don't come back. They come. It comes to a certain situations where black people or Africans be like, yo, fuck this shit, because you know what, these people are fucking vicious. A lot of these fucking a lot of these assholes can have that shit. I don't want this country. You know, that's how Africans be feeling. And you know what? I think some people need to just accept this is Africa. You know, can it be fixed? Yeah, sure, it could be fixed. But bronze, this none of them wanna unite with other northern. Yeah, absolutely. And this is where the diaspora has in common. They're all against black Americans. And I think they got that from the white supremacists. You know? And the reason why I say that is because whenever the Europeans ever had a problem, to get back into the right lane, all they had to do is pick a common enemy, and that was black indigenous, the black natives. The red natives sold us out, and we could say that the red natives sold us out. This is why they're giving us this weak ass story of yeah, they were here first. It's a weak ass fucking story. And I personally do believe that. You know, LOL, the Latinos mad at Kai and attacked us when Kai, the Afro Latino. Maybe they should have let him be Hispanic. Yeah, I think he's Haitian and Trinidadian. You know how them fucking New Yorkers be, man. Um, they're like my projects. Everybody's fucking everybody. You know, that's why everybody's is so. This is why and this is why I always tell people all the time. These Caribbeans gave these Latinos passes to say the word nigga and disrespect black people. Are all Latinos like that? Absolutely not. There's some cool ass Latinos out here, but the Caribbeans gave them a pass. You know, because they don't know no better. And I'm gonna say this: that point, they don't know no better. We've been around Latinos long enough to know that they wanted to be white. They came to New York thinking them motherfuckers was German. With the talk about that they're Germans. That's what they used to call Puerto Ricans back in the 60s and 70s. They used to call them Germans. You know, and it's not me disrespecting them. It's just this. That's the facts. This is why when people's like, "Yo, we don't listen to that Moreno music." All of a sudden, yeah, the Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, and black people, we came together and we made hip hop. No, nigga, are you serious? That shit didn't start until like the 90s. Once they sat the fucking Latin Kings down for a little bit, that's when everybody wanted to be kumbaya in New York. But let's personally be honest, a lot of those people wasn't fucking with black Americans. Even the Jamaicans and the other Caribbeans, they wasn't fucking with black Americans. Were there some? Yes, there was some. You know, but a lot of those people, a lot of those Caribbeans and Latinos, they were adopted into that culture, the black American culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why people see that shit as a problem. You know? We don't see that, like me, I don't see this shit as a problem. You know, if I was adopted into a fucking culture, I'll be like, thank you for taking me in when I didn't have anything. When times was hard, yo, y'all got busy for me. Niggas don't want to hear that. They want to hear like, oh, yo, you know, we did this by ourselves. You know, just stupid shit like that. And you'd be like, yo, nigga, are you serious? Nigga, you had a hard time out here by yourself. What is you talking about? You know, but let's get into this video. Hold on. They so used to use they so used to use been a enlightened for a fake road or profit. Yeah, that's true, Lala, bro. I personally do believe that. But at the end of the day, like I said, black Americans always try to come together with the Latinos and the Caribbeans and the Africans. They just couldn't adapt to our culture. That's the problem. A lot of these Caribbeans, Latinos, the black diaspora cannot adapt to black American culture. Look how Shabaka getting so mad about black Americans, you know, roasting Africans and roasting Caribbeans. Nigga, we just joking around. You act like niggas ain't gonna help them. If something gets serious. Black Americans has always been the first one, except this time, because they be like, we're tired of these niggas disrespecting us. They can do that shit themselves. They work hard, you know. They came over here with $2.50 in their pockets. Like, come on, my nigga. Fuck it.
Descendant of an African. But we ain't African over here, buddy. We is not African over here.
Africans need to stop claiming that they're FBA, foundational black Americans. You're not.
A lot of those Africans who come in with like the respectability politics,
yes.
one day they come up against the brunt of American racism in some way, shape, or form.
That's right.
And they're shaken forever.
Forever.
The immigrants thought in the United States it's a white man's country, and we're here as a immigrant because this is a white man's country. And what the immigrants are finding out, oh no, baby, it's the black man's country too. The black American man and woman and children's country too. And that we can't be deported because we are the foundation of this country. We built this country. So when we say we built the country, well, you are the foundation of this country. That's why some people are saying foundational black Americans.
And we can't get deported because we're American. A lot of us been here for like 12 generations. We've been here in America since the inception. When I go to Australia, know what they call me? Oh, where's the American at? No, they bring your ass. They don't call me Nigerian, Jamaican, Haitian, or none of that. I'm American.
Look, this right here is why this conversation is even happening. Because you've got people who go to America and don't even realize the difference between being black in general and being a black American with generations of history on America. And then you've got other people who speak on black Americans like they are lazy, like they don't work, like they don't have culture. Basically repeating the same stereotypes that America have been pushing for a long time. I am not saying that every immigrant thinks like that, but the ones who do, This is why the pushback is so strong. Because you can't go to America and benefit from the system that Black Americans helped to change and then turn around and talk down on the community that built so much of what you are standing on. So let's watch these clips because they are going to help us to understand the history, the identity, the disrespect, and why respect.
And shout out to Mr. Todd. And I'm gonna say this, man. I know he's gonna catch a lot of backlash for telling the truth. Not a fact, a truth. This is the truth. We can look at some facts and it might say, yeah, Black Americans are fucking violent. But once we look at the facts of something, the truth of something, yes, it's scary because we're only 13 fucking percent. If not the second biggest population in America. North America. In the United States. Let me say the United States because I know how Africans are. The reason why I said the United States, and I have to say the United States, because Africans, they're on a whole different situation. When you say North America to them, they think Canada, Mexico, and some other bullshit. And they just be on some other shit. They just, I don't know. I don't get African sometimes, but I get what they're trying to say. But shout out to Mr. Todd, man, because it's not hard. And I'm gonna be personally honest. It's not hard to say this about your people when your people are fucking up. People got so comfortable saying, and I'm gonna say this: people got so comfortable saying what they want to say about Black Americans that now when these niggas give you a little pull, like nigga, what are you talking about? Niggas get scared. They're divisive. They're xenophobic. All this shit, Like, Beato got mad at me because I say, yo, you be in Puerto Rico washing your ass in fucking in the alligator river. He got mad at me, I was like, he got mad at me, and this is why I say a lot of these people we don't. And this is why I always tell people we don't need unity, and because the thing about it, they can't adapt to the culture. And this is why I'm gonna say this: Godfrey's having a little bit of a hard time, and we might, you know what? I think we might do a show on Godfrey. I'm thinking about Wednesday. And also everybody check out because we might do a show on Wednesday on Godfrey. Check out the Dave Anderson show on Dante Nero. He had an interview today with Godfrey's good friend, and I heard Dave Anderson is gonna be on the Godfrey We Trust show. So I'm gonna say this: shout out to Godfrey for even taking that. I'm gonna be watching that. I personally gonna be watching that. I think it's gonna be a good conversation. I don't even look at it as a debate. I look at it as a conversation that needs to be had, and I think it should have been had. You know, that's why I said shout out to Godfrey. But let's keep on going.
Respect has to come before unity.
It is imperative that Black people from other places understand the disparate difference that they exist from Black people in the United States. It is not the same. Period. And ultimately, the best effort that we can do as a diaspora is to lead in understanding, not in judgment. So when I am talking to somebody from Sudan, from the Congo, from Angola, I am listening to understand their experience, not to undermine it. And I refuse to allow anybody from Grenada, from Angola, from any other place to come and try to undermine the experience of Black Americans.
We are not your descendants. Y'all are the same age as we are. We share bloodlines. Y'all are not our ancestors, and we are not your descendants. That doesn't even make sense. Y'all really have to stop saying that. We're literally all the same generation. Y'all are almost acting like you're our owners, and you're not. We're not your children. We're not a commodity. Our experiences are completely different as Black Americans. This is no shade to Africans, but you have no claim to us. We have our own culture contrary to a lot of y'all's beliefs. We are an ethnic group. We are not from Africa. Our ancestors were forcibly removed from Africa and brought here from multiple regions. So when you ask us where we're from, it's really a stupid question because we are a mixture of Central Africa, of West Africa, of South Africa. We are a combination of all of your cultures. We did not share a common language between each other and learn through the commonality of English to form a language of our own to be able to communicate with each other. We do not have a tribe in Africa because we are a combination of all of you. We are Black Americans. We are our own ethnic group. Think of it as a tribe. We owe nothing to you. We do have a culture separate from yours. We did not poach anything. The difference between y'all appropriating our culture
I think y'all missed what she said. Listen to what she said in the beginning. I think that's very important. Watch. I think it's right here.
and South Africa, we are a combination of all of your cultures. Commodity. All right,
Grenada.
y'all are
Refuse to allow anybody from Grenada, from Angola, from any other place to come and try to undermine the experience of Black Americans.
we are not your descendants. Y'all are the same age as we are. We share bloodlines. Y'all are not our ancestors, and we are not your descendants. That doesn't even make sense. Y'all really have to stop saying that. We're literally all the same generation. Y'all are almost acting like you're our owners, and you're not. We're not your children. We're not a commodity. All right,
That's where I think this might. I'm gonna say this. This might be another topic question that we should talk about. Does Africans have ownership to Black American culture? We're all gonna say no, but that's a conversation that a lot of us should have. You know, um, and shout out to her, and she's the one who gave me that idea.
experiences are completely different as Black Americans. This is no shade to Africans, but you have no claim to us. We have our own culture contrary to a lot of y'all's beliefs. We are an ethnic group. We are not from Africa. Our ancestors were forcibly removed from Africa and brought here from multiple regions. So when you ask us where we're from, it's really a stupid question because we are a mixture of Central Africa, of West Africa, of South Africa. We are a combination of all of your cultures. We did not share a common language between each other and learn through the commonality of English to form a language of our own to be able to communicate with each other. We do not have a tribe in Africa because we are a combination of all of you. We are Black Americans. We are our own ethnic group. Think of it as a tribe. We owe nothing to you. We do have a culture separate from yours. We did not poach anything. The difference between y'all appropriating our culture and us pulling from yours is that we're not pulling from your culture. It is naturally some similarities within Black American culture because of slavery. You do not have claims to our culture because our culture is formed uniquely from a mixture of all of yours, a very small portion, and then we formed our own completely new. We owe you nothing. You are not our ancestors. We do not come from you. We come from our ancestors that came from Africa. That is a huge difference.
Do y'all understand how disrespectful it is for first generation Africans to come over here and disrespect Black Americans on the land that we fought for people that look like us to succeed and prevail? For y'all to come over here and be anti-Black American and try to shit on us and disassociate yourselves with us and just like separate yourselves as if we're scum when our people.
This is the thing. I learned in, I think, Niccolo Machiavelli, or was it Robert Greene? I think it was Robert Greene. Figure out why people don't like you. Like if you're really trying to destroy a person, figure out why they don't like you. Figure out why they want to envy you. Then use that then use that shit to your ownership. Yes, they scared Trump done being just about all of Africa, and I hope he banned them all. Lala Brown don't like y'all niggas. That's the thing. Cause let me tell y'all something. Lala Brown's. This is why I'm gonna tell you this. And this is my theory, Lala Brown. You don't like them because you're sick and tired of all the bullshit that comes with them. And I get it. I get why you feel that way. I don't even blame you. Because at the end of the day, why should you have to keep on dealing with how somebody treats you? Why the fuck do they get a pass? You don't get no fucking pass. This is why a lot of black Americans kick your fucking back in and talk about your bush meat, talk about you eat just talk about a whole bunch of crazy shit. And we be joking around half the time, but at the end of the day, sometimes they feel the pain of that. Like, yo, we tired of you disrespecting black Americans. I'm being personally honest. Let me tell you something. As much as I defend Congolese people, a Congolese lady says the most fucked up shit to me. She says she don't want me dating her sister because I'm not from her country, nor her fucking tribe, and or I'm not a white man. That's what she said. She'd rather her go out with a white man than me. I already knew. I say, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of there. I already knew. I gotta get the fuck out of there. And she's probably hooking her sister up on dates with some African dude. Yeah, I already been knew that. I've been knew that. You know. Then I knew from one of her cousins. She did some shit to her cousin. Her cousin told me the truth about what she was doing out here. And you know how certain Africans, they act like they better than a lot of people. Yeah, I been knew that. But at the end of the day, I figured out why they were envy of me. I figured out why they didn't like me. It's just because I'm a black American. I'm a black American. It's the truth.
Fault for us, not just African Americans, but like Africans, first generation Africans that come over here to be able to have a normal life and succeed in this country. And for y'all to spit in our face, that's crazy. Like, I don't think y'all understand how wild that is. To say things like, at least I know my ancestors and all of that, and how to trace my lineage back to Africa. And don't act like they don't say that, because there are people that have said that. And will throw it in your face in an argument or something. Like, you wouldn't be able to be over here if it wasn't for my ancestors and my people in this country. So to come over here and shit on the very people that made it okay for you to be over here is insane. It should be unity at the immigrants.
Listen, I've never been more aware of my blackness until coming to America.
This is what we African Americans try to tell you Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Latinos, and African immigrants. That when you come to America, you are now the minority and you live in a highly...
I'm gonna give you the best advice at the end of the show to all y'all Caribbeans, y'all Africans, y'all Afro Latinos. I'm gonna give y'all the best fucking advice. You might not like the advice, but I'm gonna give you the advice. It might sound harsh, but I just want you to listen to what I said. But let him talk.
Racialized society. You didn't have to think a lot about being black in Jamaica because blackness is the default. Black people are over 90% of Jamaica's population. So therefore, you are the standard. Yep. You are just a human being. You don't have to say black Jamaican history. You just say Jamaican history. You don't have to say, oh, look at that black woman over there. You say, look at that woman over there. Look at that sister over there. Mm. When you have the privilege of living in a context of where you are the majority, where you are surrounded by people that look like you are a human being. That is something we as African Americans do not get the privilege of. So therefore, we are highly racialized and we have high racial consciousness. Mm-hmm. We understand just how deep race plays a factor in American society and around the globe. That's something that a lot of African immigrants and Afro-Caribbeans don't see because they're not living in a context to where they see white people ruling over them or dictating their lives directly every day. Race does not dictate where you live, where you go to school, your educational opportunities, your social networking, wealth, income, perceptions about you. In black majority countries and societies, racism, white supremacy is more expressed through a neo-colonial, neoliberal, subtle way. So to all you Afro-Caribbeans, African immigrants, Afro-Latinos, or black people outside of America, don't come to America and say, I know black, I Dominican. I know black, I Nigerian. America gonna let you know real quick you black when you get your Negro wake-up call.
And without the acts of black Americans, black immigrants wouldn't be allowed to be in America. This is what I mean. The civil rights movement was one of many things that happened over decades, if not 100 years, of African Americans trying to break free of their plight in America. From being 3/5 a human to fighting to be citizens, to fighting to vote, to fighting to have schools, to fighting to attend school, all after they finally got the Civil Rights Act passed and they finally got the Voting Act passed, which allowed black people to vote. Finally, the Immigration and Nationality Act was passed in 1965, which prohibited race-based denial of immigration and of nationality, which allowed an influx of Caribbean, then later African immigrants to come to America. So when I say without the fight of black Americans in America, no one would be allowed to come here. Because prior to that, white immigrants were allowed through Ellis Island. And then even still then, Irish and Italians were not considered white. So that's what I mean. And if you don't understand something, please just Google it. It is your best friend. Just because one group of black people in the world exists and exists within the microcosm that is their country, you have to realize you exist in their country. You're not in your home country for a reason. So it's not far-fetched for a black American to say, hey, you're able to live as a free black person in America from the strides and the fight that my ancestors did here. It's not taking away from your plight. It's not taking away from your history. It's not taking away from your struggle in whatever country you're from, but you're not in that country. You're in America. You're in America. Like, you left your country to come to another country that also had slaves.
And I'm going to say this, and a lot of y'all niggas ain't going back to your country. Only if you get deported. I'm just being personally honest. Y'all ain't going back to your country. You're going to stay here under me, talk about brother this, brother that. Brother, we need to come together. Brother, the white man's holding us down. All this we.
Slavery, that also had colonialism, that also had a group of people that were here for 500 years, just like you. And these people are a minority here. So you just come and you're aiding that erasure when you don't learn it and when you try to fight them for it.
And one of the things that you will see that's very dominant in our black community here is this crab in a barrel mentality. That's how it's described. And what it means is whenever there's a black person that rises, there'll be a group of black people that'll be ready to pull him back down. For example, if you're a black person here that comes into ownership of anything, your status is elevated on any level, say you have a nice car and a nice home, there will be other black people who will hate you for that. They'll hate you worse than the white supremacists and want to see you lose it.
Not every one of us know the sacrifices that African Americans have gone through and don't recognize that because we have not been taught that. We get that by assimilation because we live here and we see how Black African Americans are being treated or how, we live it as Black people. So there's still a lot of learning and education that we have to do within ourselves.
Why do we adapt the same mentality as white people when it comes to African American people? I genuinely don't understand it. Black Americans have fought for identity in this country for so long. At least we have our own countries, you feel me? We don't have to fight for our identity. They have fought for their own identity for so long, where they have a pride in their blackness. Feel me? They have a pride in what they look like. We have a pride in our Caribbeanness. They have a pride in their blackness. You can't be mad at people that fought hard to create their own shit and then it's being ripped away from them.
And I'm gonna say this, you know what? This feels good listening to other Caribbeans say what Black Americans has been saying. It feels good. You know why? Because not because we were right, just because they understand. Just because they understand now, like, yo, we didn't just do this for us. We did this for you, but now we got to fight for ourselves with this reparations. No, we try to do the multitasking, but you had your brothers and sisters was holding us back at fit for 20, 30 years. Talk about we don't need no reparations, and they knew that wasn't qualified for reparations. They weren't qualified for reparations. These liberals try to replace reparations with catfish nuggets and buttermilk biscuits. We already knew how they were getting down. It's just now somebody had to say it. And like I said, thank you. This is where I could say thank you, Black Diaspora, the people who are seeing it now. The liberals are seeing this shit now. If you notice, they're talking a whole different tune now. They're talking about, yeah, we can't just be voting for anybody. We can't just be voting blue no matter who anymore. This is what they're saying. And at the end of the day, yes. Let me ask y'all a question. Why when Black Americans come up with stuff like this, I mean, when Black people say what people are doing, there's an outrage. Why are we seeing an outrage? Because Black Americans don't want to vote for a Democrat who ain't gonna do shit for them. Why do we have to be honest, Abe, and say, "Oh well, you know what? We're glad. I know you ain't doing nothing for us, but I'm glad you're doing stuff for the LGBTQ community. I'm glad you're doing stuff for the Asian community. I'm glad you're doing stuff for the Mexican and Latino community. And you're just leaving me all out. And it's fine. They want us to say that. No, we're not saying that shit no more. There's an equation that's not fucking adding up.
Out doing the same shit that white people are doing. I'm sick of it. I am genuinely sick of it. When I moved here to this country, the people that have taught me to be myself, to be outspoken, to love my blackness and everything in its entirety was African American people. African Americans are the only ones that have a sense of blackness, and they just embrace that blackness so much. It's so powerful to them, and I understand why they don't like being called African American. They like being called black, because at the end of the day, when you walk outside and anything, everyone's gonna see you as a black person, and having pride in your blackness. Not, oh, I'm Grenadian. Not, oh, I'm Jamaican. Not, oh, I'm this and that. Just having pride in being black. We come to this country, we don't try to learn what African Americans have fought for or whatever. You don't want to learn nothing about it. You tell your kids to stay away from African American people because they're all these things. They're terrible. They're gonna get, they're gonna get you in trouble. They're gonna this. They're gonna that. They're gonna da. And it's all the same mentality that white people use for us. Not even just white people. White people.
And I'm glad she's saying this, man, because at the end of the day, if a Black American says it, there's an issue. There's an issue, and this is why I say sometimes I feel for immigrants, because don't forget these are the parents teaching them this bullshit, and they're teaching them out of a survival tactic. Our survival tactic is helping our brother out, helping our little sister out, helping the elders out. It's not survival of the fittest. We all I don't think people understand. Black Americans always help other Black Americans. Even if we have a little bit of something, here's a quarter of something I have. Here's a quarter of what we have. I can't give you any more than that because I'm gonna be fucked up too. But here, you know,
Spanish people, Indian people, Asian people, the same shit they say about all of us. They don't look at you and be like, oh, the African and the Caribbeans are okay, but the Black Americans, they can't come home with you. Black Americans have their own history. They have their own things that they fought hard for. And they still being disrespected about it. They still have, like, people trying to make it seem or deem like what they've worked and fought hard for in this country. Appreciate their culture. Appreciate that what their ancestors fought hard for is the reason you could be in this country in the first place. It's disrespectful and I'm tired of this shit.
And I think it's time we talk. I'm an immigrant myself. I was born in the Caribbean and raised in Europe, and I've been here in the United States, living in the United States since I was about 13 years old. I began noticing like little comments here and there early on, but I think when I was 12 years old, is when I finally began realizing that there's something really messed up on how a lot of immigrants talk about African Americans.
A lot of Black Americans are tired. And when I say tired, I don't mean tired of immigrants. Tired of the way some immigrants talk about them and look at them. It's not even always big disrespect. Most of the time, it is small stuff. Stuff that many people brush off. Stuff that people always say it is not that deep. But when it happens over and over again, it starts to add up. How many of y'all Black Americans have heard people saying you don't value education? Or if my parents raised me like that, I would never act that way. There's normal talk people hear always. Or you meet somebody new and once they hear your accent or once they hear how you talk, they start acting like they're smarter than you. They start correcting how you say things. They start looking down on how you dress. This is a real experience for a lot of Black Americans. Another big one is the way Black Americans get blamed for everything. Crime, Black Americans. Politics, Black Americans. Problems in the neighborhoods, Black Americans. But nobody wants to talk about teachers, nurses, the parents, the truck drivers, the folks working 2 jobs, the people just trying to live.
I'll say this, everybody, shout out to him. I'm gonna cut this short though. He's right. This is what people's parents are saying. Why are you messing with the Black Americans and stuff like that? And you know what? The Black Americans be the one protecting your kids. Black Americans protect your kids. Don't get it fucked up, man. They might pick on them here and there, but we ain't gonna do no foul shit. That's more of a, like I said, that's more of a Caribbean Latino shit. That's Black Americans don't really do shit like that. Like we'll joke around with you and stuff, but I let me tell you something. I have seen some Caribbean people do some fucked up shit to Africans. I seen this Caribbean dude punch this kid in the face, bloodied his nose up, and the kid just walking down with his nose bloody to the nurse. Just because he was different from other people. Black Americans don't do shit like that. Cause niggas would move on him. Like, yo, nigga, what you doing, bro? Nigga ain't bothering nobody. Leave him the fuck alone. That's Black Americans. Leave the kid a fucking alone. So what if he's fucking weird? Black Americans has always done that. So it's like, cause if niggas ain't bothering you, leave the nigga alone. You could say some funny shit to him, but push the nigga down the stairs, beat him up, take his shit, like torment the kid. No, we don't do shit like that. We don't do no shit like that. The weirdest fucking kid, like, and I'm gonna say this: if you're a small 7, 8-year-old kid, and you do that, I understand. But once you turn past, once you're in like middle school and you're doing that shit, you're gonna have a long fucking day, man. You're gonna run into a nigga like me who's gonna put hands on you, you know. And it's just me, you know. And I'm talking about the me now, you know. Yeah, you can't be. I'm gonna be. Yeah, you can't be doing shit like that, you know. But let's get on to the next one.
Talking to her, she's I make more money than you ever make in a lifetime. What are you? Who are you? The head You're a loser. You're a lowlife. You're a black loser. You think you're big money. Who the f are you? What do you? You even have it. What do you make annually? Yo, who do you think you are? No, who are you? Who are you? Who the f are you? She's not. He's a lowlife. Don't worry about her. Don't worry. What do you make annually? 70K. You're a low. Oh, 70 annually. Oh wow. Makes a lot of money. 70K.
70K is a lot of money in this era, and the reason why, because a lot of people don't make past 30,000. I'm gonna be personally honest. A lot of people don't make past 30,000 in this era. I make 55, 56. What's going on, Dorsey? Shout out to you. Yeah, I make like 55, and I'm not including the YouTube money that I do get. You know, in my other ventures, I do make money, so I make decent money. You know, give me a second. I'm sorry, Dorsey. I haven't even been looking at this joint too. All tethers must go. Dorsey said all tethers must go. When I was a kid, you hire someone else to fight the. Yeah, if you got money or you got school money, if you have to pay for school lunch, yeah, you just give them that, and like you might have to starve a little bit until you get home. Yeah, 4 packs of. Yeah, I Dorsey, you was in the struggle times, man. Me, yeah, I had a little bit of money, man. I'm not even gonna lie. My uncle had money, you know.
That's what my sister makes. You're a fucking animal, loser. I'm right here.
And y'all know it's a lot that I disagree with when it comes to certain FBA rhetoric, certain shit I don't agree with. But one thing that I am more and more leaning towards as far as their rhetoric is, I'm not gonna say how can I say it without sounding crazy? I see what they be saying about y'all immigrants though, like people that's not from America and that came here from other places. Like I see what they be talking about. I literally see. At first I used to be like, oh no, y'all tripping, y'all this. But the more things go on, I be like, I see what FBA be talking about when it comes to them immigrants. I just don't like how y'all be like trying to bully people if they don't agree with something.
Niggas don't be bullying people, girl. You got a heart, girl. I understand. You got a heart. And I'm gonna say this: when you be in these YouTube streets, you can't really be having a heart like that. And the reason why, you shouldn't really have a heart like that, especially if you're in this type of world, because people will use that against you. Especially you, sweetheart. They will use you. You're a cute girl, high yellow. You a high yellow. You're not really high yellow. You're in between, girl. You're a little bit lighter than me. You know, I'm caramel. You like fat free, like, you know, milk chocolate. You know, or coffee with cream in it. You know, me caramel. You know, little caramel color looking nickel. Me, you know, but yeah, it. Like I said, people will use you there, and this is why you're just seeing the shit now.
I would be like, oh, you must not be black. You must not be this. That's the type of shit I don't like about y'all. But I'm starting to see what y'all with them immigrants, though. Honestly.
But the thing about it, she can't really get mad when Black Americans say that, because at the end of the day, we're talking about culturally. She's not, you know, she can't adapt to our culture.
If you want to know if you have power or not, use the word delineation. It's strong when we use it. Think about this. If Mexico or the Mexicans decided to delineate today, who the fuck care? If the Italians, if the Cubans, the Panamanians, the Haitians, the Jamaicans, any of them African countries decided to delineate from us, who would care? We'd play the world's smallest fucking violin. You know why we wouldn't care? Because we are not dependent on their identity, their ethnonym, their ethnicity.
Yo, my man said something super dope. He said we don't depend on other people. We don't depend on other countries. That's what's dope about Black Americans. We don't depend on other countries. Most countries depend on Black Americans. Ooh, shit. Yeah, most countries depend on Black Americans. You know, and this is what you're starting to see. They depend on Black Americans to have unity. Black Americans don't depend on anybody to have unity. We try to have unity, even when we were at the highest. We still wanted unity with Africans and the Caribbeans, but we find out that in 2026 that shit doesn't work.
Their legacy, their history of anything. We have it all already, right? So when we say that we're delineating, it is cutting off a vehicle that was used to undermine specifically us. Yeah. They wanted to undermine us. They've been undermining us. And people will come up to this panel acting like this is a new phenomenon. It's been 60 plus years of this experience, right? And it has not been a good experience. It has not been transactional. It has not led to our people moving anywhere beyond where we were in the 1960s. Okay? Have we come a long way? Yeah, but have we gone the wrong way? That is the question. The delineation movement is very powerful, my people, because it puts us in a position, a very unique position to take our people where we should have gone a long time ago.
Hey, Miss Ramirez, how's everything? You know, I always stop the show just to say hi to you. Shout out to you, Miss Ramirez, and I apologize for having a late show today. The fucking power tripped, and then somebody locked the basement, so I couldn't go through the basement to reset the power. So yeah, we had to start at 7. I apologize. So we're gonna have a quick show, but I gotta do marketing tomorrow. But the big announcement today is that I believe I still got to talk to the team. I believe that I want to do. I think I want to start. I think I want to start my documentary next month.
Delineation is us taking up the mantle and saying to our ancestors, we accept the responsibility. We accept this challenge. And we may lose some people along the way, but it's going to be well worth it. We're not worried about who we are losing. We're worried about what our future gains. That separates us from people fleeing their oppression under any circumstance. Okay? So don't let anybody tug on your emotional heartstrings. Don't be discouraged by being called certain names or whatever the case may be. It's not effective as the word delineation. If these indigenous people, the Semaine, the Lano, the Batek, the Aetas, okay, the Melanesians, okay, the Polynesians, if they just delineated today, will nobody even budge? Okay?
Nope.
If the Europeans delineated, nobody would budge. When the Europeans delineated from us here on their soil, we created our own institutions of economic and social excellence. We thrived outside of the system. When people delineate from us, we do better. When we're left to our own devices, we do way better. That's not the same that can be said about a lot of these other places that we can investigate today. You know what I mean? So continue on with this delineation movement. It is very powerful. You've seen how powerful it is in the right hands. When we say we're delineating, it is felt. It impacts people's future. It impacts their plans to migrate or to not migrate, right? To cosplay or to not cosplay.
Miss Ramirez said Fred is lazy. He doesn't even smile for free. I gotta put that up there.
right? Delineation is very important, my people. Keep the movement strong and keep it alive.
On the topic of Black American relationships with the immigrant community, and in this video, I'm especially calling out African immigrants. But what I have to say is that we Black Americans do not hate immigrants at all. Show me videos where you have Black Americans stating that we hate immigrants from any community. You will be hard pressed to find it. But then I want you to do a search of what immigrants, sadly including African immigrants, have publicly had to say about we Black Americans.
Facts. That's true. That's true. That's hard to say, but it's true.
And this has been going on for quite some time. With African immigrants, the refrain has been, we know Black, we know Black. We are Somali American, we're Haitian American, Jamaican American. We are Nigerian and from other countries on the continent, but we are not Black. Don't call us Black.
Miss Ramirez, I be hearing the dog in the background. Yeah, I be seeing him. Yeah, I be hearing him.
And all kinds of derogatory, disparaging sentiment. Calling Black Americans slaves.
What's going on, Wiz Mason?
Calling soul food, slave food. Calling we Black Americans uneducated, uncultured, lazy. All the white supremacist talking points that you all have been indoctrinated with over in your home countries that you bring to the United States of America. And what is really wild is that we Black Americans are not your oppressors. Before and during the election of 2024, Black Americans, especially Black American women, I'm gonna always call out the queens, tried to tell everyone, including every immigrant community, what would happen if the felon-in-chief were reelected. Hell, the felon-in-chief in the Republican Party told you all what they would do and what they were planning. They didn't hide it. But you all did not listen to us. And now it is my understanding that—
And I'm going to say this. This wasn't even for our benefit. That benefit immigrants would, let's go on. Because he sounds like he's a talker. You know, that when we said that to y'all immigrants, that didn't benefit us. It benefited y'all. We didn't benefit from fucking Donald Trump. Only thing we benefit that he wasn't gonna do no harmful shit really to us like that. You know, I see a lot of fear mongering where I see a lot of fear monger with liberals and Democrats now.
Trace back.
She got the veneers in. Go on.
Then it goes into Native American, European and things like that. So how are you an African American? You guys know that not all people that had brown skin or that was of African descent were slaves in America, right? Because then you would be saying that, you mean to tell me not one person from the whole continent of Africa came over to America when it's been documented that several did, and they were not slaves. They came over on their own free will, just like the Spanish did also? Did they not have boats and ships? Because history says that they did. So when people are like, oh, well, you're African American. No, I'm Black American. Once you get 3 generations out, you're no longer from that place. Your blood is now American blood. Why don't we call people that are from the UK their ancestry maybe down the line.
Shit.
British Americans. Why are black people the only one that's called African Americans? It's kind of like it's still trying to keep us separate.
Oh, shit.
I'm a black American.
Y'all see all those rainbow flags? This was in New York City, where this lady, she looked like she runs a daycare, throwing all these racial slurs towards this black man that was just trying to do his job. She was told to leave because she was harassing a group of people at a table inside that lounge. They had the trespasser, and this is her response, just throwing racial slurs out there and insulting this man for working, doing his job. 70,000, 2 jobs. And this is how he's treated at work. It's not a white person, right? Not a white person. And no one intervened to check her. Whatever group of people she belonged to, it looked like she belongs to the daycare, those people that be running those daycares and learning centers. That look like her group. But
she's gonna lose her job. We seen that, so let's go on to this one.
When's this thing going to be wrapped up? Have you delineated? But delineation does not have a shelf life. It's an awareness. And we are beginning to wake up to what that awareness actually means. And just beginning to put into practice what it means to preserve our identity specifically as a lineage, as Black Americans indigenous to this soil. Not as a broad Black or as a flat Black. Not as the African or Caribbean diaspora that really has nothing to do with ours here. And not as a subcategory to the latest, greatest flat minority term, but us specifically. And when people want that to end, it's usually because our specificity is costing them something. Maybe they were riding under the umbrella of a flat Blackness, making claims that were never theirs to make. Maybe our delineation draws a line they'd rather not see, making them uncomfortable and left to lament a reality that they would rather not face. But that's not our problem. It can't be, because delineation is healthy. Here's what it actually does for us. It allows for the disaggregation of data. Data that specifically shows what's happening to us, not what's happening to some broad minority term, but to us specifically. It protects our specific claims, our historical claims that belong to this lineage and to no one else. It preserves our ethnic identity and stops ethnic erasure. It puts us on a path to a protected class status, as we should be in this country, because they have redefined us before and folded us into categories that served everyone else's interests but ours. Delineation says, that ain't happening again. And once you come into this awareness as a lineage, you don't step back out of it. That's not how awareness works. You cannot unknow what you now know. So when they ask, when will delineation end? The honest answer is, it doesn't. This is our lens going forward. This becomes our lens in which we see policy, in which we see data. This becomes the lens in which we see who keeps getting left out of every conversation that claims to be about us. We are a specific ethnic group here, specific to this country. We deserve specific protections, specific data, and specific recognition. And that's just the beginning, considering we built this country. So keep naming it, keep protecting it, keep moving with intention, keep letting our people know. Because an awareness this important doesn't get a shelf life. It gets a legacy. Be honest, not offended.
Beginning in the late 1990s.
Auntie was looking good. What you talk about, Dorsey? got the headlights out and everything. Let's move on to the next
in the
one.
2000s, a shift occurred as immigration from Africa.
All right, we're gonna watch half of this. Actually, let's do this one.
In 2019, Jordan Peele released a psychological
everybody's favorite O'Shea Duke Jack. Shout out to O'Shea. Give me a second. Let me see if they fucked with my. All right, here we go. We good. Shout out O'Shea Duke Jackson. He's gonna explain the word tether and why people get mad at it, and might explain the future.
Film called Us. And in the film, there was a particular group called the Tethered. They were a group of underground clones who wore matching red jumpsuits. They carried golden scissors. But most importantly, they look exactly like the people living on the surface. They spend generations forced to mimic the actions of their surface counterparts from underground tunnels in which they're trapped in this movie. And from this, Tariq Nasheed got the inspiration for the word tether to describe a cosplaying group of black immigrants, most notably coming from the African continent and from the Caribbean. The fundamental difference here is that in the movie Us, the tethered have no choice but to mimic the people on the ground. They get nothing from it in real reality. But the tethered come in who mimic black Americans do so because they benefit from the institutions and the structures while gaining everything and giving nothing.
He's right, you know.
But this
I'm gonna say this, yo. O'Shea's always on the right track of saying the flyest shit. You know, shout out to California's the California natives, you know. I wanna say this before we go back on there. Everybody know when you call somebody a tether, it's more of an action. You know. But what O'Shea's breaking down, I think, is very important because at the end of the day, a lot of people do try to mimic Black American culture. We've seen it with hip hop. We've seen it with hip hop, you know, and it's all right, but we can't lie about things, you know. We can't lie about things. So yeah.
phrase has been widely accepted as a racial slur. And there are a few people who are unhappy about it.
Now, they will say that tether is an actual description of an immigrant who come here to cosplay as a Black American. That's what they will say.
Now, this is Poetic Flacco, and it's important to understand that he is laying out the basis of the definition as given by Tariq Nasheed, or those who are in the online Twitter community or X community about FBA. But he would use a rebuttal by doing this.
But then they say tether hairline. Oh, tether babble. Tether this, tether that, right? Like you wouldn't say tether hairline if it was not a racial slur, right? If it was a description for somebody who come here and cosplay as a Black American, then like you would.
Well, O'Shea Duke Jackson is a Black American. I have been told you that. Snow Bunny King. You know, since you're an immigrant, you come from a failed country. Let me ask you a question, Snow Bunny King. Why do you think you can get a pass to? Why do you think you can get a pass to say whatever you want to Black Americans and not face consequences? You know, like you come from you come from the dirt roads of fucking Jamaica. You know, so why do you think you could say anything bad about Black Americans? You know, and there's nothing wrong with dirt roads, but you got flip flops to go with it. You know, Black Americans at least built sneakers and built boots for the roads. You know, but if you don't got no flip flops, you walking with your feet. You know, let me ask you. That's just the question I ask. You know, why do you think you could get a pass? You know,
use it as it's defined. The minute you start to use it outside of the actual definition and description, it then becomes a racial slur because you're using it to dehumanize somebody.
The first 8 seconds, which you heard in the first clip, was only focused on the real definition. The remaining 26 seconds that he invested his time focused on the racial slur or abuse of the term, which he is correct. People.
And that's the scamming shit that I be telling y'all about with Africans. I said this is why I had to tell the lady. I was like, yo, Africa's known for scamming. This is what they do in it. They lie, they manipulate. This is what they do in their country. You know, the women do it too. I want the IB headphones. And not all Africans, so not all Africans do that. We know that. But a good handful of y'all niggas do that. That's why the country's fucked up now. You sold each other out.
Do use that slur of a tether hairline, tether sandals, tether daishikis. I mean, all of those things are true. But I wonder, why focus on the slur, but not the definition itself? I like to debate in intellectual honesty. I will concede that for the sake of this video, the term tether can and has been used and maybe will be used in the future as a racial or slur to describe African or Black immigrants. But what Poetic Flacco will have a hard time getting around is if he fits the actual definition without slurs of the compartmentalization of the phrase tether. The question is, will he actually fit what Tariq Nasheed or others have alleged against people like him and the remainder of his group? It is important to understand that Tariq Nasheed and other people in the hashtag FBA community have blatantly said that not everybody is a tether. It is a behavior. Somebody has to do something to fit the qualifications of the word or phrase tether, just as somebody who is a heterosexual or a homosexual or a bisexual or a drug addict or a football player or a basketball player or an attorney, you have to do certain things to qualify for the definition. The first thing that I would like to leverage against the people who fit the phrase of tether is that they use FBA talking points. Not all people who fit the tether definition are looking to undermine Black Americans right away. At least it doesn't seem so. Initially, what they will do to get into the community, they will have characteristics of virtue signaling. And you will see this when things happen to people in the Black community, like Black Lives Matter. You will see it with George Floyd. The people, in fact, who will come out and protest with the Black community are the so-called tethers themselves. And the people who will come out in support will be the people accused of being tethers themselves. Let's talk about what's going on with Nolan Wells, and let's see what Poetic Flacco has to say.
Nolan Wells' family is officially under attack. The white supremacist has apparently finally caught up to this story, and they're making up for their absence, right? They are rapidly going to work to go against this family.
If you can see here, this piece of content resonates with the Black American community. It resonates with the pain and the trauma of white supremacy, and allegedly at the hands of white people, in this case, 3 boys. But it's also important what another person would do.
Who went out on some boat and ride with his friends in Mississippi, Horns Island or something, and he ends up missing, but the white dudes are there. The 3 bozos don't know where he is, right?
He does has tether ways, Dorsey.
And what's really funny is they ended up erasing their IG really quickly. And also, I guess their parents are like judges, and they're in power positions in this area. And this is Mississippi. Go figure.
It almost seems forced, Godfrey's behavior, as if he cares so much about the Black community. Now, Poetic Flacco has put this video up, so has Godfrey. Both of them are really standing up against these white racists, and it seems as if these people are really concerned to what has happened to somebody in the Black American society.
He's right, you know.
And that is the first accusation, to get in, to resonate, and appropriate. You see, you must be like them to get them to support you. You must resonate and capitulate to get them to support you and to trust you. And therefore, you can be into their community. And the only reasons why people do that is the same reasons why women want to date rich men. It's hypergamy. What Poetic Flacco and Godfrey have done in their careers is the same thing that rich women and IG models do all the time. They go from a community of lower value economically to a community that has higher value. Nobody comes from a higher value community typically down to the lower value community unless there's an extreme opportunity. But in the case of Poetic Flacco or Godfrey, who sound just like me and you, this is their hypergamy play. They come into the system, pretend to be one of you, and all of a sudden, they're accepted. And once they're accepted, but there's a problem. Aligning with somebody's pain is different than contributing to their fundamental success, which is something that nobody can see with Poetic Flacco or Godfrey. The question is, when they have leverage on their YouTube channels or from their income, what can you see them doing for the Black American community that they have benefited from. And we can use really Godfrey as an example here. Now, if we look at the 154 podcast, we can clearly see that over the last year, since October, it has blown up. The name 154 discusses one Africa, 54 countries, largely with all of these people growing up in Europe and the United States. And Godfrey dedicates a lot of his career and understanding to Black America. But it's interesting that Godfrey is being accused of this.
He has not bought a foundational Black American on 154. I'm not talking about in Godfrey We Trust, because I'm pretty sure one of them people up there is a foundational Black American. I'm not sure who, but I'm pretty sure one of them is. My issue is on 154. They're not talking about, from what I've seen, by and large, more often than not, it becomes a
I'll say this. You know what? Yo, on Wednesday, everybody, hold on, let me put my camera back. I apologize. On Wednesday, you want to watch the conversation with Dave Anderson and Godfrey's friend Dante Noro? We'll do a poll right now. Let's see.
thing where they start talking about foundational Black Americans, how foundational Black Americans have hurt them, made them feel so on and so forth, bobbity skibbity bop. And it's not about things happening in Nigeria.
Dave Anderson did something that I never honestly thought about. He said Godfrey will have people from the Black community on the Godfrey is Live podcast, but he will never have a Black American on the 154 podcast. That's very interesting because even people like Tariq Nasheed, who disagrees with a lot of Africans out there, will open up his TikTok or his Twitter spaces for conversation. You have the Daily Rapper crew, who are from the Black American community, and they open up their doors to debate from anybody in the community. It's interesting that 154 podcast will not have anybody from the hashtag FBA community on there, but they don't have a problem with other people coming on the podcast and then having something slightly negative to say about their experience with Black Americans. And then when somebody gets on Godfrey for not checking the person for that comment, he may say something, well, it's a 3-hour show, I can't get to everything, or it's that person's opinion, not mine. And this is the same thing that Shannon Sharp said when Cat Williams came on the podcast. But the reality is, when you have the opportunity to bring a Black American on and defend themselves, and you don't, but you consistently allow Africans to come on and have their gripes with Black Americans, what it seems at this particular point that you're being unfair. Because now you're participating in what I would call corporate Pan-Africanism, and now you have those corporate African sponsors, and now you're leaning that podcast towards that community that makes a lot of money, and you have forgotten all about the hashtag FBA homies you had over here who were holding you down all the time. Let's talk about Poetic Flacco. He is a person that is accused of mimicking a whole bunch of behaviors in the Black community, and he shows everybody how much money he makes. But there is no evidence of him donating to the guy that was shot by Chud the Builder. There is no evidence of him trying to do anything for Black America. All you see is him bragging about how much money he makes or how somebody can join his YouTube courses. And the reason why is because to talk about Black American pain costs them actually nothing. It's easy to sit around on your computer all day from North Dakota or from New York City and discuss how Black Americans are being mistreated by the white supremacists and we should unite. It costs them actually nothing. And there is no skin in the game with that sort of behavior, which leads me to this point.
When Black Americans have historically faced pressure, whether we talk about politics, economics, or social, there's often been a shared understanding and response rooted in long, specific history inside this country. And that history created networks, it created institutions, it created a certain level of internal protection. And when you're part of that lineage, you move differently because the history is yours. And when delineation happens, that automatic connection is no longer assumed. Now, identity is more specific. And when identity becomes specific, the benefits that came from a broad grouping naturally shift as well. So yes, some people, a lot of people.
I'll say this. That's true. Like people got to understand, Black Americans has done everything themselves. You know, from fighting slavery to getting their own rights, to getting other people's rights. Have there be other people? Has there been immigrants help? Yes, but not collectively. Collectively, no. No, not collectively. So yeah.
They starting to feel the difference.
Dennis Spurling
Really becomes specific. The benefits that came from a broad grouping naturally shift as well. So yes, some people, a lot of people, they starting to feel the difference.
Dennis Spurling lays out a pretty interesting argument here. You see, the Black American experience was solved by us, ourselves, or the ancestors thereof. And for so many years, the flat blackness ideology are just treating everybody that we're all black and allowing everybody to participate in that blackness is now being cut off.
Black Snow Bunny, can we know that Godfrey wasn't he's not Black American, he's an African, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's the thing about it sometimes, and this is the only thing I give Godfrey. Sometimes you fuck up. You're not perfect. You say some shit that you're not supposed to say, but you're not supposed to get mad because my nigga, you said it. You can, or you somebody was on your platform. It's like, let me give you examples. It's like having a gun and somebody shoots somebody else with your gun. You're at accountability because you're the one who the gun is under your name. It was your responsibility. So if it's his platform, it's his responsibility to do the damn thing. And that's all Black Americans are saying. We're not saying, oh yeah, you're a bad fucking person and this and that. No, we're saying that like, yo, the shit that you was doing is foul. We're not saying you're not smart. We're not saying you're bad. We're not saying you don't defend Black Americans, but you're making us look fucking crazy.
So, for example, you have Nigerian criminals now being deported outside of America for their crimes. They can no longer hide those people amongst the quote-unquote Black Americans. The same thing with the Haitians or the Caribbeans. Now they have to take responsibility for their own criminals, and they are not able to just sell their community as the model minority myth like the Nigerians did in the 80s or 90s or the other African groups. Once you're forced to delineate, you can no longer claim what is not yours, and you have to go out there and build it yourself from your people as much as possible. But let me get back to Godfrey. Remember when he said this?
And CJ, he's a Black American who actually came up with the concept along with Heather, who's a white lesbian.
This is important to know for the 154 podcast. You see, Godfrey knows all about the Black society and white supremacy and racism. He is well read, but being well read and understanding or comprehending what you read are two different things. If you're really involved in the pro-Black community, you would know how the pro-Black community feels about, number one, whites and people who are largely not heterosexual. While the pro-Black community typically does not hate anybody of another race or anybody in their sexuality, people in the pro-Black community would quietly be suspicious of a person that is non-Black and is in the LGBTQ being a part of a show produced for quote unquote the Black community or the 154 community. People would look at that suspiciously because the people that Godfrey quote would be 100% against that. And if you're really gonna be down for the cause, then you would be like Louis Farrakhan, who is Caribbean, but he was taught by Elijah Muhammad, and he's tried his best as much as he could be to keep the rules as pro-Black as possible. Not to say that he's perfect, but according to Godfrey, he will do anything he can and break those same rules and go outside of the Black diaspora, even hiring a producer who was number one, white, and number two, in the LGBTQ, which typically is not what you would see in the pro-Black community. And not that any of that is wrong though, but a lot of Black Americans would look at that and call it what kind of behavior? You got it. They would consider that to be tetherish behavior. What am I trying to say here? The reason why I feel like a lot of black Caribbeans or Africans hate the word tether is not because of a hairline or somebody says you have tether sandals. That largely can't be true because a lot of people have receding hairlines, and if you wear sandals, I mean, whatever, that's your business. The reality is, if you are grifting a certain culture that you are not from and you don't contribute to, you would largely take offense to that because that is your behavior. And that's one thing that you can see a lot of times going on in the African community or diaspora community is a whole bunch of no accountability. And that's why you will always hear Godfrey or Poetic Flacco or the other blacks, and what they will always say is, y'all focus on the wrong person. Stop focusing on each other. We all black. Focus on the oppressor. In the same time, while Godfrey is telling you to focus on the oppressor, the person that produces for his show is a white lesbian. In what march is Poetic Flacco leading to stop white supremacy in North Dakota or in LA or anything? Do you see any action or behavior of Poetic Flacco trying to stop white supremacy? No, because they don't really mean that. And sometimes you can't listen to what people are saying, but to what they are not saying. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shady Jackson, back at it again with another episode of Celebrity Drunk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.
Shout out to O'Shea. I'm gonna buy a t-shirt one day, man. Give me a second. I'm on my adult account on Twitter. I got an adult Twitter account, so yeah. Oh, the flip pumps into freezing. Missing. Yada yada yada. All right. Sorry everybody. So we're gonna go into the last one. Does Godfrey specifically ask Black America to attend his? Godfrey don't ask anybody to attend anything. Black Americans just support. We support everybody who supports that used to support black culture, you know. Godfrey is in black culture. Yes, I do believe that Godfrey is in black culture, but that's why we support him. I don't know what you're trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to get at, Black Snow Bunny King, but you gotta let me know, man. Does Godfrey do shows in Nigeria? No, he has FBA such. So I'm gonna give you pushback, Dorsey. Snow Bunny King is trying to set you up. Godfrey don't ask anybody. Godfrey has his own like fan base. It's not like fucking Kevin Hart fan base, but he got a nice sized fan base. Black Americans does support him. You know, as I said before, Black Americans, you don't have to ask us to support you. We're gonna support you off the strength. You know, if you treat us right, we'll support you no matter what. You know, that's why I always give back I try to give back to as much as people as I can. They don't have to be just FBA. If I can just help somebody, yes. But my best believe my people will always come first. I will tell you that. You know, and that's just how I feel. You know, we're gonna do this last one. We're gonna do a Tariq Nasheed. We're gonna do half of it. You know, this shit's like an hour, but yeah, we only got like what 35 minutes left. But let's go.
And the DNC shoves an APAC candidate down your throat, you have my permission to not vote for them. Because the Democratic Party needs to learn that it is not vote blue no matter who. It matters who. They sometimes need to lose in order to learn. Sometimes when you lose, you learn. And I'm just telling you right now, if they put a little APAC, send Israel all the bombs, give Saudi Arabia all the money, let the UAE run over us and give Trump another plane. If they put another APAC sellout moderate in place of Graham Plattner, and they do.
But this is where I got a problem with Joy Reid. Joy Reid, what you think Kamala was doing? The fucking mayor in fucking Boston, Michelle Wu, and Ayanna Presley, who's I don't know if she's black, but she was doing that shit, the APAC shit. You know, a lot of these Democrats support APAC. You know, so if you're gonna have a problem, you're gonna have a problem with a lot of Democrats, and she knows that. She's gonna have a problem with liberals in Boston, even though the people who support these Democrats, disapproves with APACs, but they still support these like I said, they support in Boston, they support Michelle Wu, but Michelle Wu gave and took money from APAC. She gave the Small Hats $15 million of Massachusetts money. So I can't act like these Democrats ain't doing this or this is like a rare thing. No, this ain't a rare thing. They've been doing this shit for the last 20 years. The only person in Boston 10 years. Cuz I don't know if Marty Welsh was taking that money or he was giving that money, but I know Thomas Menino wasn't. He was giving too many people too many hard times. He was giving these white folks Thomas Menino, I think he was like Irish or fucking Italian. And this motherfucker, this lady said, "Oh, you need to hurry up and fix our roads." And Mayor Menino asked the lady, "Do you work construction?" She said, "No." Well, she said, "Don't." Well, he said, "Well, don't tell me what to do if you don't work construction," and walked away. I say, "You go on, white man. You do your thing." Yeah, Mayor Menino, yeah, he be on that type of shit. If Black Americans support their own, the strength, why did they make Eminem that? No, that wasn't Black Americans. Black Snow Bunny King. That was white culture. Why you think Eminem sold out? It wasn't because of black people were there. It was because a lot of white people went to his concerts. You know, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, he could call himself the the devil of hip hop. We don't give a fuck. You know, that's what they want. The Tip, also known as T.I., used to call himself the king of the South for the last 20 years. Was he the king of the South? I don't know. It's debatable. It's a great debate, you know, if he was the king of the South. Do I think so? I don't know. There's a lot of people, because I didn't start getting into Tip until like I want to say the King album or T.I. versus T.I.P. You know, I always knew Tip was dope. I like his I like the music that I liked his music when I got older because me and Tip is damn near the same age, you know. So yeah.
Not put somebody in who is his same ideology, you have my permission to stay your ass home. Then they will learn when Susan Collins gets 6 more years. At this point, we have to teach Democrats. We need to instruct them and teach them how to treat us. It's like being in a relationship. You got to teach people how to treat your ass.
You know, the good thing about it, 6 more years, if she gets in, she might go the way of Mitch McConnell.
She'll be glitching and freezing.
Exactly.
Glitching and freezing because they don't never want to retire. Why that old lady still? She needs to retire too. But you know what? Leave her in there.
Isn't she older than Mitch McConnell?
Probably. I mean, at this point, they're all 100 years old. But the reality is we're going to focus on the races where the people get to choose the ideology of what they want. People didn't pick Graham Platter because of his stupid tattoos. They picked him because of his ideology.
And so to say, what are you going to do? Like vote Republican? Like they don't think we have a choice. They think that we have to vote for Taliban.
But what they understand is the couch is actually a choice. And we've seen it since Obama ran in 2008, 2012. You have seen a drop. You have seen a drop in black voter participation in every election. It's right there in the numbers. I don't know what the hell they're looking at, and it's there in the data. I don't understand.
All right, the first thing we got to talk about, family, we got to talk about some of the Democrat operatives. Family, have you guys noticed a lot of the Democrat operatives are now sounding just like the foundational Black American grassroots? Have y'all noticed that? For a long time, for the last 6-7 years, the Democrat operatives were the main ones criticizing foundational Black Americans. Boy, they were on our ass. Those of us speaking up for the lineage, boy, they were denigrating us, talking about we're a cult and we're the
Shabaka,
Black MAGA and we're
Shabaka,
funded by the CIA. And remember Joy
Shabaka.
Reid. Oh, we're Russian bots and oh, they were denigrating the foundational Black American
Black Nobody
grassroots,
King.
all on national TV, getting on national TV saying, don't listen to them and don't listen to Tariq calling me out by name, throwing my name in the mix. They were really, really denigrating us when we said, hey, we're going to have to get some tangibles if we vote. We'll vote for the couch. And remember, you have the Rollins and people like that hopping out. You stupid fool. Don't vote for the couch. That's dumb as hell. A vote for the couch is a vote for Trump. I mean, we were just getting run through the ringer by these people. But the thing is, none of that worked. Everybody stood on their square. The Black grassroots didn't waver. We stood on righteous justice because we know that we are on the right side of history. We know what we're saying is right. What we're saying is not false. We are a very unique lineage and we need some tangibles and we need justice and respect and protection for the people of that lineage. That's a righteous justice claim. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, family. That is not xenophobic. That is not hateful. That is not cult-like. That is looking out for your lineage, as you should. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And we were denigrated nonstop. They were paying big money to have people out here to denigrate the Black grassroots. We were standing on lineage business and they were telling us, oh, no, you are Africa nigga. Oh, no, you hate Africa. Oh, why do you hate yourself? Oh, it just really just throwing all types of crap at us. But most of us stood on our square. When you stand on your square, when you stand on righteous justice, the world comes around. You understand? The world will come around and see things your way, which is the right way. You understand? We weren't talking about harming anybody. We weren't talking about disenfranchising anybody. We weren't talking about undermining anybody. We were just talking about, hey, some respect needs to be put on us and our lineage. We've done so much for so many people for so long, there has to be respect on it. There's nothing wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. But boy, they tried to shame us and all that. And we said, no, you're not going to shame us. We mean what we say. You're going to respect us. We're not going to take any disrespect. We're going to clap back at you. We're going to make you accountable. And we've been making people accountable. We've not let people disrespect us. They come out their mouth sideways. We clap back on them and remind them, hey, you fled here, buddy, ma'am. You fled here for a reason and you were able to flee here for a reason because of us. You're not going to disrespect us. So enough of us said, hey, we're just not going to be disrespected no more. All these shaming tactics, that's not going to work. When you walk in the door to speak with us, you're going to come in with respect. And see, family, that's why the term foundational Black American is so damn powerful, because when you use that term, you walk in the door with respect. When you say foundational, you're putting respect on the lineage. Just saying the term is a respect term. You're paying homage. So on a subconscious level, You coming in the door with respect when you acknowledge the lineage. And when we acknowledge the lineage, there's an automatic respect on it. And when you put respect on your lineage, you put respect on your ancestors. When you put respect on your ancestors are energized and they come back and protect you and they produce justice for you. This is why the delineation movement feels like a spiritual movement because it is. There's a spiritual element to it, ladies and gentlemen. You understand?
Yep.
Y'all share this space. We're talking some good stuff tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Share this space. But family, I want you to listen to Joy Reid. I'm going to play a little clip of Joy Reid. I'm going to play a little audio clip. I want you to listen to your girl, Joy Reid, Congolese Joy Reid.
Yep.
I'm going to play a little something with Joy. Joy kind of sounds like us a little bit. Listen to Joy.
Sometimes need to lose in order to learn. Sometimes when you lose, you learn.
Hold on, let me
And I'm
take it
just
back.
telling
Let
you
me take it back.
who. They sometimes need to lose in order to learn. Sometimes when you lose, you learn. And I'm just telling you right now, if they put a little APAC, send Israel all the bombs, give Saudi Arabia all the money, let the UAE run over us and give Trump another plane. If they put another APAC sellout moderate in place of Graham Plattner, and they do not put somebody in who is his same ideology, you have my permission to stay your ass home. Then they will learn when Susan Collins gets 6 more years. At this point, we have to teach Democrats. We need to instruct them and teach them how to treat us. It's like being in a relationship. You got to teach people how to treat your ass.
You know, the good thing about it is 6 more.
So I'm gonna say this. We try to teach them. So we try to teach the Democrats, and the Democrats just called us xenophobic and divisive. You know, we called us stupid fools, the new white supremacist, all this shit. FBAs are proud of their lineage while at the same time they refuse to accept the facts. They're St. Michael's, what the fuck are you talking about? I hope you ain't doing meth while you're talking to me, man. You better not be doing fucking meth and trying to write at the same time. You gotta stop that shit, St. Michael's. You do that shit all the time, man. You smoke meth and after that you try to write. That shit don't make no fucking sense that you do that shit. You can't put the meth pipe down for a fucking hour, nigga, just to watch my show? The fuck? This nigga is stupid, man. And you want to talk about mixed? You know what the Hebrew Israelites, no, the Moors told me that you were mixed with? They say you're mixed with dog, monkey, what else they said? Neanderthals? Well, Neanderthals are dog, monkey, they said something else. That's what the Moors say. I don't say it, but the Moors believe that. You know, Epleys are the most uneducated racialists. Well, that's what the Moors said. Don't get mad. I'm not a Moor. You know, I probably got Moorish blood, but the Moors said that. They said, yeah, the European is mixed with monkey blood. What was it? Monkey genetics, dog genetics, and they said something else. And you can't get mad at me for saying that. No, I didn't say. St. Michael's, why you getting? Put the fucking meth pipe down. Don't get mad at me. I didn't say it. The Moors said it. The people who believe in the Moorish thing said that. I did not say that. I didn't say you half dog and monkey, nigga. The Moors said that. I just said you got Neanderthal blood. That's all I said. These niggas said you was mixed with monkey and dog genetics. That's why you don't have hair, you have fur. Okay, so you're mixed with monkey and dog genetics, nigga. That's what the Moors said. The fuck you mad at me for? I didn't say you mixed with Bigfoot and fucking and Kojo, nigga. The fucking Moors said that shit, nigga. Like, damn, don't get mad at me, man. The fuck?
She said we have to teach the Democrats how to treat us. Damn, Joy, that's what we said about 5-6 years ago, and you said we were Russian bots. Wow, Joy. That's interesting. Let me play a little bit more. Hold on.
If she gets in, she might go the way of Mitch McConnell.
She'll be glitching and freezing.
Exactly.
Glitching and freezing because they don't never want to retire. Why that old lady still? She needs to retire too. But you know what? Leave her in there.
Isn't she older than Mitch McConnell?
Probably. I mean, at this point, they're all old. They're all 100 years old. But the reality is we're going to focus on the races where the people get to choose the ideology of what they want. People didn't pick Graham Platter because of his stupid tattoos. They picked him because of his ideology.
Okay, hold on. Let me play another part. Hold on.
Replace him with somebody who is ideologically the same, because that is what was decided. The people of Maine, the Democratic voters of Maine said we want a progressive. They did not say they want an APAC moderate. So the Democratic Party in Maine ought to pick someone who is ideologically the same or ideologically similar as Plattner. If you don't, and the DNC shoves an APAC candidate down your throat, you have my permission to.
Okay. Now let me play Roland. All right, let me play Roland. Let me play your boy Roland. All right. And y'all, excuse my dog in the damn back. You know, my big ass dogs. They're in the house snoring. Okay, let me play your boy Roland real quick. Hold on, where are we? Come on,
Nigga,
thing.
you still mad at me, bro?
Okay. Listen to Roland. Hold on.
I didn't say that.
She
St.
texted me
Michael's.
and
Hold
was
on.
very
Let me fast.
St. Michael's. I didn't say that shit. The Moors said that shit. They said you was mixed with dog and monkey genetics. That's why you don't have a lip. That's why you don't have upper. That's why you don't have an upper or lower lip, my nigga. They say you mixed with. They say you mixed with the ape, the primate fucking genetics. I didn't say that shit. I would never say that shit to you, St. Michael's. Come on, stop doing that, man. You making it seem like I said that. You know I didn't say that. I said the Moors said that you. That's what the Moors said. I didn't say it. Jesus Christ.
For it. Hold on.
voting for Tallarico if he won't even.
Moors are black. Yeah, they're black. Like there is a Moorish lineage where there was some Arab, but there was barely any Arab Arabs in the Moorish bloodline, you know. Why you getting mad at me? Why you getting mad at me, St. Michael's? You crashing out off the meth and shit. I didn't say that shit. St. Michael's, listen to me again. Put the meth pipe down, all right? And just listen. Listening is a skill, my nigga. I said the Moors said that your race is mixed with dog and primate genetics, also known as monkeys. I didn't say that shit. The Moors said that. Like, why are you mad? Why? Let me ask you a question. Why don't you got the same smoke with the with the same smoke with the Moors than with me, my nigga? You're mad at me because the Moors said that shit. I didn't say it. I didn't say you was mixed with monkey genetics, monkey and dog genetics. Them niggas said like, yo, you don't have hair, you have fur. They said on your head is fur. That's not hair. That's why you get lice. They said that. I didn't say that shit. Would you like to do a reaction video to it? We could find a Moorish thing and we'll do the reaction video towards it. All right, and so you can stop being mad at me. I didn't say that shit. All right, the fuck, nigga.
Even when he needs us, come and speak with us and listen to our issues and develop a strategy to address our issues. And so to say, what are you going to do? Like vote Republican? Like they don't think we have a choice. They think that we have to vote for Taliban.
Yeah, but what they understand is the couch is actually a choice, and we've seen it since since Obama ran in 2008, 2012. You have seen a drop. You have seen a drop in black voter participation in every election. It's right there in the numbers. I don't know what the hell they're looking at, and it's there in the data. I don't understand it.
But
This nigga mad at
Damn,
me.
Roland said the couch is an option. Let me hold on. Everybody kind of shocked because
I'm
we've been
shocked.
saying that. Hold on, let me play
The
that
understanding
part.
is that the couch is actually a choice. Actually a choice. The couch is actually a choice. Yeah, but what they understand is that the couch is actually a choice.
St. Michael's, you can't get mad. I didn't say it, St. Michael's. The Moors said that. I didn't say it. The Moors said it. You must get mad at Yakub too because they said that they created you. I didn't say none of that shit. These are these are people who are who these are in doc. Let me not say it. Fuck it. I give up.
Family, we've been saying
Mad at
that.
me.
They're sounding like us now. The couch is a choice. They sounding like us now.
Mm.
We told you the couch is gonna be a damn choice if we don't get what the hell we want. We've been told you that. Yeah, we let y'all know that in the last election that the couch was a damn choice. Oh yeah, we will vote for the couch now. Family, let's look at this thing. Let's look at it.
Mm.
They didn't listen. They looked at their ratings. All right, they see what them ratings are looking like. Them ratings are looking bad. We saw how a lot of these left wingers they done got laid off. All right, the black grassroots, man, we have fully bypassed traditional media gatekeepers through our own independent platforms, from hitting the streets, hitting the bricks, using our own voices on our own
I don't know, I
platforms.
don't know, St.
These
Michael.
folks no longer control the narrative.
Yo, Dorsey, get your boy St. Michael's. He's mad at me because what the Moors say. I didn't say it, St. Michael's. I didn't say that. I didn't say none of that. How am I race pimping? How am I a race pimp? All I St. Michael's. All I said, the Moors said that y'all have dog and monkey genetics. That's all I said. I said the Moors said that. I didn't say I believed it. I said the Moors said it. The fuck, my nigga? Like, yo, for a white man, you don't listen, man. Like, yo, this is why you're in America right now. This is why you're in America right now. Cause your people could have cut it in Ireland. Like, come on, my nigga. So now you an Ellis Island baby. That's all you are. You was an Ellis Island baby. You're not even you're not even an American. You're an Ellis Island anchor baby. That's all. That's what Ellis Island baby is, an anchor baby. That's white people. That's an anchor baby for white people. It's an Ellis Island baby. That's what you are, my nigga. You're an Ellis Island baby. Like, it's just because your people couldn't cut it in Ireland, and it's all right. I like Ireland. I like corned beef hash, and sometimes certain whiskeys. But yeah,
You understand? They spent a long time, years, trying to mock the grassroots. They didn't think that we had the reach that we had. Yeah? But then they realized they're speaking to empty rooms.
mm.
They realize all that shit they're talking after people come listen to y'all on the black grassroots. Don't nobody want to hear that Democrat shield bullshit? That's the reality, because you guys, us, all of you, us, and I'm y'all too, because y'all have your spaces telling the truth, breaking things down from a realistic perspective. And when people hear the truth, you're not going to go back and listen to no damn DNC talking points that clearly sounds like it came from they know there's a complete collapse in their shaming tactics.
Yeah,
That
they
ain't
ain't
going to
working
work.
no more.
That backfires on them. All that talking crazy.
Yeah, that shaming shit doesn't work anymore, and I think this is why the DNC people Democrats are losing, if y'all don't know what DNC means. Democrats, the Democratic Party, they're losing, yet greater than 90% of FBA's vote. Um, you're right, but there is a but. But there wasn't a lot of people voting St. Michael's. That's what you're not getting. If a lot of people, put it this way, there's 50 million black Americans. If there's only 10 people that voted, and there's only 10 people that voted, but 9 of them voted for the Democrats, that's still 90%. So what you're doing is kind of fucking deceptive, you know?
Said us shit, that's done. That pushes us further away. And I think they've done some kind of market research to show when they're out here talking crazy and talking at us and all that, those numbers go down even lower. We ain't on that. Right now, there is a renaissance happening. There's a foundational
Mm-hmm.
Black American renaissance happening right now. There's a delineation renaissance happening right now. There is a pride and a self-esteem within the community collectively. Well, we're just not going to take any kind of disrespect. We reject any form of disrespect. All that cussing us out and all that. You're not talking to us like that no more. Those days are over. You're not going to shame us into voting. You're going to have to come through with something. You understand? And all the guilt trip thing, that ain't going to work either. All that, people died for your right to vote. They got beat in Selma. You got to vote blue. No, 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 no. We're not doing that either. Our people in Selma and my relatives are buried out there, by the way. They didn't sit out there and take all of that fighting and abuse so that some waterhead tethers can come over here and start calling their lineage Akatas and Jareers and Abids. They didn't fight for
This
that.
is really mad at
So
me.
it's our job.
St. Michael, you really mad at me because of that shit? Come on, St. Michael. You gotta grow the fuck up, my nigga.
To defend them. You understand? Because these people have gotten way too comfortable coming over here with the disrespect of us. So we are defending the legacy of those people. It's not going to be an opportunistic thing like them Somalis went up there to the Edmund Pettus Bridge
So
looking crazy
disrespectful.
because they got caught scamming. Don't take your ass down there because you got caught scamming. That ain't the same thing as what our people were doing. They weren't scamming nobody. They were standing on real justice.
That nigga
Them old
so
waterhead damn tethers running around Edmund Pettus Bridge because they got caught funneling money through the Leering Center. That was so disrespectful to me. Don't run to Edmund Pettus Bridge for what? You shouldn't have been scamming. Yeah, you got caught scamming as you should have. The fuck you doing down there? People, we down there, that's a justice bridge. It's a bridge for justice. Not for the Leering Center scam because you got caught. The hell out of here. No, no, no. See, that type of disrespect, we have to check that. You understand? Yeah, they walking up and down the bridge, but their head about to fall over the bridge. The hell out of here. But listen, right now, the Democrat Party, there's some internal panic right now. They listen to play on emotional rhetoric, fake solidarity. The CIA, they are trying to stop the unity. And every time we ask, what damn unity? Because what they're saying makes zero sense. What unity is the CIA trying to stop? Where's the unity? Where's all of this cohesiveness and this kumbaya that was so strong that the FBI and the CIA is trying to stop it? And nobody can never name anything because it don't exist. And they know that.
facts.
You understand? See, the thing is, the reason why the delineation is so powerful, two reasons: independent media and decentralized energy. See, historically, the establishment could kill a movement by simply locking it out of mainstream corporate networks. See, they fail to realize that there's independent media right now, there's decentralized broadcast infrastructure. So you can't deplatform or shadow ban the streets. People are talking about this in barbershops, beauty salons, bookstores. This is something that people discuss in the streets right now. The streets are powerful. The streets will win always. Yeah, so these hit pieces from all of these DNC publications. That don't work. Don't nobody listen to that shit.
Nope.
You ain't gonna stop the streets. A lot of stuff that pops up in our society that ends up popping off, it comes from the ground. It comes from the streets first. You can't beat the streets. You can't beat the FBA streets. So the black grassroots are speaking to millions of our own people on our own platforms, on the streets and all that. And they can't stop that because there's no one person to attack. All that shit trying to attack me, that ain't working because I ain't the leader of shit. And you can't make somebody the leader of something that they're not the leader of. That shit don't work. People see it for what it is. They see that's a COINTELPRO type of smear. It don't work. You understand? And all that name calling, if we look at our own lineage, yelling xenophobia and hate group, that don't work. They think they're going to smear and yell at us talking about we're anti-immigrant. You ain't going to pull that shit on us. And these immigrants come over here and do the most egregious things to us.
Yep.
Anti-immigrant nothing. These people are anti-FBA and we're calling them out and we're making them accountable for that. And the black grassroots neutralized those attacks immediately. We made it crystal clear, establishing our specific political identity and demanding justice. It's not about hating anybody else. That's about self-preservation. We don't owe nobody a sacrifice of our own well-being. We don't owe nobody a sacrifice of our own children. We don't owe nobody nothing. So prioritizing the survival and the economic empowerment of foundational Black American lineage is not an attack on other groups. See, that guilt trip shit don't work no.
But St. Michael's, what do you think your people are mixed with? What you think the Irish people are mixed with? They're mixed with Ashkenazi too. Like, St. Michael's is just jealous because he don't got him a Jewish girl. It's all right, St. Michael's.
More. For a long time, these people would use a hijacked version of global solidarity to shame us into prioritizing everybody else's issues over our own domestic needs. They expected us to function as basically the only group on the planet with no borders on our resources, no borders on our political advocacy, no borders on our history, nothing. So everybody can just come pull up a buffet plate and just eat without giving anything. So our FBA activists, man, woke a lot of people up, woke a lot of the masses up to the hustle and the scam. We stopped accepting the guilt trips. We start setting firm boundaries. We prioritized our own backyard first. And without the power of them people to shame us, their whole psychological campaign, it just collapsed. Understand? And the thing is, the political establishment, they relied on treating the black vote as a monolith so they could dilute our influence and satisfy the demands of other demographics. And foundational Black Americans delineating, we disrupted that whole political math. By drawing clear boundaries around our lineage, we exposed how our political currency was being spent without giving us a return on investment. So the delineation movement gets bigger every day because our people finally recognize the value of protecting our political capital and demanding a return on our support. You
Yep.
understand? This is why, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever be afraid to stand on your square. There's a power in standing on your square, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud of you, brothers and sisters, just all of us. Standing on your square is very powerful. When you stand on your square, sometimes it might not be popular. All people do is talk about you, foundational Black American. They come over here and make
All right, I'm gonna land
blogs
here,
talking about
everybody.
you.
I'm gonna land right here because I just gotta land. I gotta actually go to work. So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this about the Democrats in the Black Diaspora. The best advice I'll ever give y'all is y'all niggas is not special. Y'all niggas ain't special. This is why you going through what you're going through right now because y'all niggas thought y'all niggas was special. You thought you was better than Black Americans. you know, and you don't understand that Black Americans was helping your struggle. All we asked was respect and like, yo, whenever, you know, we want to start a coalition or correlation, you know, we would fuck with you. But y'all didn't want to. Y'all wanted to give us a hard time, and like I get it. I get it. You know, you didn't really want to fuck with Black Americans, and I get it. I dig it. We are, you know, and and sometimes you know it's sometimes you got to take some beat downs for the shit that you said, but you can't be like what I do. You gotta be like, how can I fix this? Instead of yelling at Black Americans, talk about you divisive, you xenophobic, you should have been like, yo, how can I fix this? How can I fix this whole situation? You know, and so also too, we did the poll. 85% say yes, they want to watch the Dave Anderson and the Dante Nero, and 15 said no. So we might do it on Wednesday or Thursday. Give me a second, everybody. Excuse me. But yeah, let me give my shout outs, everybody, because I actually got to get ready for work. Shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit, they're not letting me do my. Give me a second, everybody. They're not letting me do my. Give me a second, everybody. They're not letting me look in a. Fuck. Oh shit, they're not letting me do my. Uh. All right, so they're not gonna let me do my shout outs, everybody. So shout out to everybody who's on the show. I appreciate y'all for being on the show. And I thank y'all. And I will see y'all Wednesday. Take care and have a great night.